God bless America. Hello, everybody. I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you for joining me. It's almost Friday. Hang in there. Just a couple of more videos that you'll have to watch before we make it to the weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. Let's get into the headlines from today. The first thing that caught my eye as I was perusing the Drudge Report website was that CNN had a Nazi on one of their shows to have a conversation. Now, if you're a follower of some of the anti-SJW commentators on YouTube, you probably know that this means that everybody at CNN is now a Nazi. At least that seems to be the logic, because anytime you're pictured with a Nazi, you're automatically a Nazi. So CNN's Camerota might just be a Nazi. Now, the Nazi individual is named Arthur Jones. And just out of curiosity, I went and found Mr. Jones's website, because it's the current year. If you're running for Congress, you have a website, so I went and found the website. And Mr. Jones has an interesting set of beliefs. You can go and look at this website yourself. There's a brief synopsis of his issues down here as well. As you can see, he's against sanctuary cities. He's for border security. He wants to reduce the tax burden. He's against illegal immigration. He's very traditional on his beliefs in homosexuality and abortion. And he appears to be Trumpish in his attitudes on trade. Now, you might have noticed up here at the top that there's a hate speech ? Link and a Holocaust ? Link. If you click on the Holocaust ? Link, you'll be directed to the page of a person who does not believe that the Holocaust, as reported, as it is traditionally understood, exists. In fact, Art Jones might be accurately called a Holocaust denier. If you look at some of these other links here on the screen, for instance, the flags of conflict, you might come away with the interpretation that Arthur Jones is a white supremacist, maybe not a white supremacist, but certainly a white nationalist. And I would just like to say this right here. This means that in the contest of tolerance, in a world, I'm not going to try to do the nighttime drama voice for that, but in a world where tolerance is a virtue, the GOP is the king of tolerance. We are so tolerant that even Nazis can be members of the GOP. Either that or there are just literally no Republicans in Chicago, and the only person that would deign to put his name into the GOP to run for Congress in Chicago is a white nationalist, maybe even a Nazi. As to whether or not Mr. Jones is in fact a Nazi, here's what I gathered from the website. He is pictured speaking and rallying with people who hold a sign that says National Socialism, advocating for National Socialism. Now, that doesn't mean that Art Jones is a Nazi for certain, but he's pictured with those kinds of people. He does not believe the Holocaust happened as we understand it to have happened, which is to say that he doesn't believe that something on the order of 8 million Jews were killed by Nazis in concentration camps. He doubts the stories that some survivors tell. He doubts the stories that some, you might call them insiders of these concentration camps tell. And you feel free to go and read that information for yourself, draw your own conclusions. He does not espouse communism on his campaign website. In fact, in the Holocaust ? Link, you'll see a flyer that's been printed up and scanned and attached to this website. And in the flyer, it calls communism and Zionism Jewish constructions to influence the world. Zionism, of course, the belief that Israel is a legitimate country that deserves to be protected and upheld. And communism is, well, you all know what communism is. And he obviously doesn't believe in communism. So he doesn't appear to be a National Socialist. He does have, of course, the Holocaust denial aspect of what a Nazi would be, but he certainly has there's no socialism in the Nazism of Arthur Jones. He does, however, espouse white identity politics, so I don't think it would be unfair to say that this man is a white nationalist. Now, that was the first story that I wanted to talk about. Next, I want to talk about this from the Patriot Post. If you're a fan of conservative writing and blogging and things like that, you will love the Patriot Post. They're not patriotpost.com, they're patriotpost.us. And they do columns every day, at least 2. They do memes and cartoons. You will love this website if you're a fan of conservative commentary. And according to the Patriot Post's reporting, Senator Rand Paul is proposing a bill. Let's just scroll down to that. He calls it the Government Shutdown Prevention Act. And the Government Shutdown Prevention Act would automatically trigger a continuing resolution in place of a shutdown. And the continuing resolution would automatically cut government funding by 1% across the board. This means welfare, defense, bogus science projects that the government is blowing money out of its butt on. This means NASA. This means Department of Transportation. Everything. 1% across the board. If Congress is unable to pass a new budget deal within 90 days of the original continuing resolution, the continuing resolution that is 99% of the previous budget, which a continuing resolution, real quick for those of you who don't know, means we're just going to keep our spending pattern exactly the same as we did the last time we approved a budget. That's a continuing resolution. I'm not sure how far back the current continuing resolution goes, but seeing as how, according to the Patriot Post, I think it's here, yes, over the last 40 years, the Congress has only passed a complete budget 4 times. So I guarantee you there's some continuing resolutions that have been passed in the past that are, 10 years old. If Congress is unable to pass a new budget deal within 90 days of the original CR, so the CR that triggered the Government Shutdown Prevention Act, then a further 1% cut is enacted. So first you have a budget, and you come up on the government shutdown, and you can't agree on a budget. So continuing resolution 99% goes into effect. And if you can't pass a new budget in 90 days, then continuing resolution 98% goes into effect. I personally love this plan. I am all in favor of cutting spending when it comes to the budget. It's not a thing that I vote single issue on. It's something that I would like to see happen. And this bill, the proposal, Government Shutdown Prevention Act, is the perfect solution to the gridlock that surrounds budget bills. And the reason is this. Nobody wants to cut spending on Capitol Hill. Nobody. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter who controls the Senate and the House of Representatives. Nobody wants government to shrink. Because if you're a bureaucracy, you exist for the purpose of perpetuating yourself. So you'll find ways not only to spend all of the money that you're given, but to increase the need that you have for that money. Nobody wants to cut spending, not even by 1%. So this bill would, I have no doubt, stop all future government shutdowns. There would not even be any more continuing resolutions because nobody wants the government to shrink. And even a 1% shrinking is too much. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the latest Rasmussen report, which has Donald Trump at a job approval rating of 48%. And this has prompted the president and the media to start talking about whether or not Trump has in fact caught up with President Barack Obama. Now, if you go and look at the Real Clear Politic averages, which I personally favor, you will see that President Trump has not, in fact, caught up with President Obama based on the Real Clear Politic averages. However, for the Rasmussen poll, at least, it is true that Trump has caught up with Obama. Hereabouts in the middle of your screen, you can see 8th February 2010. The 8th of February in Obama's second year, which we're on the 8th of February in Trump's second year. This is the equivalent time period. Column number 3, I'll scroll up to the top and demonstrate for you that this is what it is. Column number 3 is the approval rating. According to Rasmussen, President Trump has surpassed Obama in approval rating. Let me scroll up to the top. This goes all the way to 2017, so there's a long ways to scroll. But you get all the way up to the top. I thought I was at the top. Apparently I was not. There we go. Column number 1, 2, 3. Date, approval index, strongly approve, 4129, strongly disapprove, total approve, column number 3. According to Rasmussen, Trump has passed Obama in approval rating. And while I was looking for this chart here, that I know I've used in the past and that I'm just now using again today, I found this from the Washington Post. Apparently it was updated recently, but it looks like it was most of the original article from December the 1st, 2009. And the article is titled, "Why is Rasmussen so different?" And I think, my opinion, don't have a lot of knowledge on the way that polls are run and things like that, but this makes sense to me. Why is Rasmussen so different? Reason number 1 they offer, I need to hit the continue reading button. Reason number 1 they offer is that Rasmussen polls likely voters rather than registered voters or even all adults. Rasmussen polls likely voters, and likely voters tend to be older. Likely voters will stay registered for a long time, and they have a long voting history, probably. So likely voters are going to tend to be older. According to the Huffington Post, this, in the days of the Obama presidency, left out a lot of younger and minority voters who were more supportive of Obama. Apparently, Rasmussen also asks a different version of the job approval question. Most pollsters offer, do you approve or disapprove? And Rasmussen asks, do you strongly, somewhat approve, or somewhat strongly disapprove? And I guarantee you that more people, this catches many more people. It just makes sense to say that this will catch many more people. Because if you're sitting on the fence and you're like, well, I don't approve, but I don't disapprove, I'm somewhere in the middle, the only other option, if you are given the option of approve, disapprove, is, well, I don't know. But if you are allowed to say, well, I somewhat approve of the president's job, or I somewhat disapprove of the president's job, then that pushes people out of the don't know, and it lends more people into the numbers of approval and disapproval. And that's the total numbers that Rasmussen reports in all of its polls. Let's get on down to reason number 3. It's in here somewhere. Automated methodology. I don't understand this entirely, but apparently Rasmussen uses an automated polling process such that people are not responding to a pollster, but responding to a bot in the polling process. And apparently this gets people to be more honest. People are more likely to say what they think you want to hear if there's a person present. But if it's a bot, they're more likely to say what they really think. At least that's the theory posed by Rasmussen. That made sense to me. I thought that would be something nice to share with you. In case you were wondering, well, Rasmussen shows that Trump is doing very, very well. Nobody thinks that he's actually doing as well as they report. Why might this be? Well, here's a theory offered by Huffington Post that seems to make sense to me. That's it for the News Blitz today. Those are the 3 stories that I wanted to talk about. Here's something I would like to ask my new subscribers. I know I have a few new subscribers from last Friday's video. Again, thank you for joining us. I would like to ask, would you prefer, if I did videos like this where I just blitz through a few news items, would you prefer one long video like I've done here, or would you prefer multiple shorter videos where I cover the individual topics? I myself prefer to do a longer video where I can do it in one sitting. I don't have to record multiple videos, upload multiple videos. But I would be willing to make that change. It's something that I tried out a while back when I was spending a lot more time out in the field for work than I am right now. And I didn't see that there was much benefit in doing the multiple short videos, so I thought for convenience sake I'd just do one long one. But I want to hear from the new subscribers. Would you rather see more videos like this where I cover multiple topics in one video, or would you rather see shorter videos where I cover these individual topics, and maybe once a week or something like that I do more than one video instead of just one like I usually do? Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy other content, so check out my channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you really don't want to miss a single video. I'm uploading every weekday, so far with very few failures. Thank you again so much for watching. Until next time, have a good night, and God bless.